Hi, this is Bradley Phillips, and I am a criminal defense, personal injury, and traffic ticket attorney here in New Orleans. And today I'm here to talk about what we refer to as a 1495E, specifically a 95E. Now, first, let me start by explaining what that is. What we're referring to is the Louisiana Revised Statute 14:95. And what that statute deals with is illegal possession of a firearm. In particular, what we're going to talk about today is subsection E of 1495. That is quite simply being in possession of a firearm when you're also in possession of something that's listed as a controlled dangerous substance. So really easily, that is being in possession of a gun with drugs at the same time. Now, up until a few years ago, possession of marijuana was something that could be connected to possession of a firearm to be charged with a 1495E. Now, as of 2018, there have been some changes to the law, so now if you have less than 14 grams of marijuana, it doesn't count. So that being said, if you've got a gun, and it doesn't matter how much, quantity is not an issue, but if you have a gun and you're in possession of the smallest amount of cocaine, the smallest amount of heroin, some sort of narcotic prescription, or what is a prescription medication without a prescription, so you've got tramadol or oxycontin or something like that, but you don't have a valid prescription for it, you can be charged with a 1495E. Now, what's significant about this is a couple of things, but one, it's a really easy charge for prosecutors to get a conviction on. All they have to do is show a jury that you were in possession of a gun and that you were in possession of drugs. They don't have to show that you were going to sell it or do anything illicit with it. All they have to do is show you had a gun and you had drugs at the same time. The other thing that's significant about this is that it carries a mandatory minimum jail sentence. So what that means is if you're convicted of a 1495E, that means you're looking at a bare minimum sentence of 5 years. The maximum sentence could be up to 10 years. Now, if you've already been convicted of a 95E before, your minimum sentence starts at 20 for a second conviction. So, really serious charge, but specifically the reason is it's without benefit or parole, probation, or suspension of sentence. That means if you're found guilty of it, you have to do jail time. So it's a big deal to be charged with one of these. Now, just because it's an easy conviction and just because you've been arrested and charged with a 95E, that doesn't mean all hope is lost. There's things that we can always do to defend it. Constructive possession, things like that. The gun wasn't in your possession. The drugs weren't in your possession. Obviously, those are things that we're going to take a look at. Specifically, we're also going to look at, were you charged with being in possession of marijuana? Because like I mentioned, if it's marijuana and a gun, the law is a little bit different. If it's under 14 grams, it's by definition not a 95E, and they can't charge you with it. That's in the law itself. But so what we need to do is we need to make sure we're looking at the quantity. And what a smart criminal defense attorney is, they're also going to look at the packaging. Is it right around 14 grams? Well, how much was the container? That's something that you want to consider. Just because you've been charged with a gun and you had some tramadol or oxycontin or cocaine or heroin even, that of course you didn't have a prescription for, that doesn't mean all hope is lost. The reality is, this is a law that was put on the books kind of to target drug dealers. So very oftentimes, we're able to work out some sort of resolution with the prosecutor that involves maybe breaking the charges up, charging you with the misdemeanor gun and the possession of the drugs. Something like that, where all of a sudden, a case that was going to carry a minimum sentence of 5 years now is something that you can potentially get probation for. So when you're charged with a 95E, it's really important to have an experienced criminal defense attorney that understands the ins and outs of these charges and also has enough weight and pull with the prosecutors to maybe get a deal done in the event that the charge is correct and you were in possession of a gun and you were in possession of drugs. If you or a loved one has been charged with a 95E, give me a call. Initial consultations are always free. I'll sit down with you, I'll go over the ins and outs of the case, and most importantly, I'll give you an idea of what I think our defenses are and what the possible outcomes may be, so you can make the best decision for you or your family member. If you found this video helpful, head over to our YouTube page and subscribe to Phillips Law. Give the video a like. Also, we'd love to have you follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, we're there. We try to post things so you can make the best decision when you're picking the lawyer to represent you. Again, my name is Bradley Phillips. My number is 504-434-7000. I'm a traffic ticket, personal injury, and criminal defense attorney here in New Orleans, and we'll see you next time.